What's up everybody, it's Pokeers, and today I am back with another Shiny Collection update video. That's right, you've seen the thumbnail and title. My collection has reached 500 Shiny Pokemon, and per my tradition, I'm here to do a little show and tell for the last 50 Shinies I got since the last update video. Without further ado, the first title with new Shinies is Pokemon Shield. First here is a Galarian Rapidash, which, coming after a Masuda Method hunt which went 5 times over the odds, see the Berserker from the previous video, decided to not be so nice as to go under odds, but just slightly above, hatching from the 515th egg. Between Masuda Method hunts on streams, I've also been doing some Dynamax adventures here and there, which have netted me this shiny Lugia, and this Claydol. I ran into this Drillbur as it was one of the Pokemon I needed to complete my home Pokedex when I wanted to get the shiny Mythicals that were distributed there. As with most unevolved Pokemon in my collection, I kept it this way simply because I already have a shiny Excadrill that I got in Pokemon Violet. Two more Dynamax Adventures shiny are this Barbaracle and a Blacephalon, which, side note, it's strange you can't hunt an Ultra Sun and Moon, right? Lastly, Shiny Surfish is my latest finished Masuda Method hunt, which almost went over 5 times the odds too, hatching from the 2532nd egg. I've already mentioned the shiny mythical distributions in Pokemon Home, and I do count events in my collection, so let's go ahead and check them out. Shiny Manaphy was the award for completing the BDSP Pokedex. Shiny Keldeo, the award for completing the 3 Sword and Shield dexes, which, by the way, I forgot to add this to my spreadsheet until recording this video, which means I've had 500 shinies for longer than I thought. Shiny Meloetta for the 3 Scarlet and Violet Pokedexes. Shiny Meltan for the Let's Go dex, which, even though it was available from Go for a long time, I was never able to get. Not that I count Go shinies anyways. And lastly, Shiny Enamorus for the Legends Arceus dex. And while it's not mythical, it's available only once per copy of a single game, so it might as well be. Going back to the main series games, we have Brilliant Diamond. Only one Pokemon here, Arceus, which was hunted on streams and appeared shiny after 1,967 encounters. Though due to it being in a game where the shiny charm only affects eggs, it's under half odds instead of being over odds like the usual soft research hunt would be at this stage. We're moving from Arceus the Pokemon to Legends Arceus the game. This shiny Alpha Alakazam appeared as an Abra when I was looking around for the evolution item of the shiny I caught before it, which you'll get to see a little later. Both Rhyhorn and Rhydon were caught as parts of massive mass outbreaks that I needed to clear to get the Pokemon that I was actually looking for to spawn. They're nice enough shinies that I wasn't against getting the entire line. Funnily enough, I already had a shiny Rhydon, because I got a second shiny Rhyhorn in Let's Go and just forgot about it, so I have 2 Rhydon now. Shiny Electabuzz appeared randomly when I was looking for another Pokemon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hisuian Typhlosion was the last Pokemon that stayed on my shiny wishlist from Legends Arceus before I moved to resetting for the Arceus and Brilliant Diamond. It appeared already fully evolved in a Quilava part of a massive mass outbreak. Like Electabuzz, Shiny Sudowoodo was a random encounter when I was looking for another Pokemon, and also like it, I already had the fully evolved form in the line Shiny. Unlike Electabuzz, Sudowoodo is the fully evolved form, and thus is a duplicate Shiny. Shiny Apom, you guessed it, was a random encounter. If you don't remember me getting a Shiny Ambipom that's keeping this one an Apom, just wait a little longer. Shiny Unknown more closely resembles the Rhyhorn line Shinies I got in this game. Parts of massive mass outbreaks that I had to clear to get the Pokemon I wanted to spawn. It's an alright shiny, so it was just as okay having it as not having it. If you're wondering whether I'm gonna get the letters other than Q, at least not in Legends Arceus. Steelix was the Pokemon I wanted to get when getting the 2 Rhyhorn and the Unknown. Onix only has 2 fixed spawns in one area, so I had to reset it a lot. I got Shiny Octillery randomly in a Space-Time Distortion. I already had a Shiny Octillery and from this game as well, so it's not very exciting. Shiny Bibarel was also a random encounter, but when I was going around perfecting dex entries to raise other Pokemon's shiny rates, same with Octillery. Luxray joins Octillery and Bibarel as the random encounters I got when perfecting dex entries. I already had one of each of the Pokemon in the line shiny, so I decided to make the Luxray I caught a Luxray. I said you just had to wait to see the shiny Ambipom. In truth, I got this just before getting the second Apom, though this one was from a massive mass outbreak, in a part that dropped their guava berries which I was running low on. I found a shiny Mischievous in the same stream as Electabuzz and the 2 Apom. Overall, 4 shinies that I didn't really want, 3 with not great shinies, and for Mischievous I already had both members of the line. Also, Mischievous are scared of the player and will run right after spawning them. I heard the shiny sound of this one before seeing what Pokemon it came from, and only noticed it right before it escaped. Good thing that saving the game saves the Pokemon around you, otherwise I'd have failed this shiny. Carnivine was another random encounter from when I was looking for Onix. Even though I had both shiny Tangela and Tangrowth, both from this game, I went to the Tangela part of the Master Mass outbreak that gave me the shiny because it dropped our guava berries. Shiny Mamoswine was not one I wanted to have, but one I didn't care to have, so I went to its Master Mass outbreak part when waiting for the whole thing to clear. Hisuian Zoroark was on my radar for a long time, and after resetting Zoro's regular spawn for many streams, I was finally able to get it in a massive mass outbreak. Ursaluna was also one of the Pokemon I had on my radar, though one I got more quickly. I had to look for a while to get the Peat block to evolve it, but the search netted me the shiny Alpha Alakazam from before. Almost last on the list, you'll see later why, Pokemon Violet. Now, since I basically finished hunting everything I wanted in this game, most of the Pokemon here are random encounters, gotten when I was trying to get the shiny Meloetta home. I'll be keeping those encounters brief. Shiny Execute, Meloetta random encounter. Shiny Quagsire, Meloetta random encounter. Swablu is actually not a full odds random encounter, but rather was gotten with the leftover shiny sandwich I had from the time the game had an event where you could get outbreaks for Pokemon that were exclusive to the opposite version as yours. The Pokemon I made the sandwich for will appear a little later. Some time ago, I set up YouTube subscriber and Twitch follower goals for my streams, promising that whenever one would be hit, I'd spin a wheel full of bad shinies and have to make a sandwich to hunt the result. Soraka was not the Pokemon the wheel landed on, I actually think the line has pretty good shinies, but it was from the leftovers of a sandwich from one such hunt. Kricketune, Meloetta random encounter. Snover, Meloetta random encounter. Pawniard, Meloetta random encounter. And Skidoo, Meloetta random encounter. Oranguru is a Pokemon that's usually exclusive to Pokemon Scarlet, but like I just mentioned, there was an event with opposite version exclusives. While Oranguru does share its normal typing with Swablu, its sandwich was not the one I got the shiny Swablu with, but rather a Cramorant sandwich, which shares its flying typing with Swablu. Kilowattrel is the last Meloetta random encounter, and actually the second random shiny Kilowattrel I got in this game, even though I think its shiny is rather weak, and I wouldn't have hunted for it myself. Bombardier is the Pokemon I had to hunt when I hit 200 subscribers. I hunted it with a flying sandwich, which I then got a Starly with, even though what I was trying to get was a Combee. Lastly are the 4 Treasures of Ruin, distributed after being defeated in raids by millions of people: Wo-Chien, Qianpao, Ting Lu, and Chi Yu. The reason Violet isn't the last version is not the newly released Legend ZA, but rather because I finished my Pokemon Scarlet Eevee run and got some shinies there while trying to finish my Pokedex. First up is this Seadra that I noticed as a Horsey, mostly because it was right next to another non-shiny Horsey. And next is Hoot Hoot, both kept not fully evolved due to having their full evolutions shiny. And that's it, the next 50 shiny Pokemon that I caught. My collection keeps growing and I'm all here for it. Hopefully by next time Legend ZA will be a part of it, as from what I'm hearing, shiny hunting is really fun in it. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Pokemon content. If you have subscribed, make sure to follow me on Twitter and or Blue Sky with the links in the description for updates on the channel, my shiny collection, and my life in general. I post it whenever I upload a video, before I go live, and whenever I catch a shiny Pokemon, so they really are the best places to stay updated. If you want to see the rest of my collection, there is a playlist link in the description for all these update videos, or you can head to pokeares.com/collection for an up-to-date spreadsheet detailing my collection. Link also in the description. And with that being said, that's all I have for today, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.